7-pound Kissel over in trouble. Ken Ching right on top of the action here. And Ken's going to stop it.
Your winner, by way of technical knockout, Sovahnnary Em.
Your goal is to win a one championship, right? That's like the ultimate. That's like the ultimate. That's like the Super Bowl of fighting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Winning is nice, but ultimately, I just would really like, I like this as a platform to inspire women, to inspire especially Khmer women.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Chluy Talk. I am your host, HELLACHLUY. Today, I got a very special guest, but before I introduce her, I'm gonna roll the intro. So today's guest is a one championship athlete, a fighter. She's Khmer American, and her name is Sovahnnary. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you for joining me, Savannahry. I'm so excited to talk to you about your whole MMA journey and martial arts in general. I'm just a big fan of martial arts, so I'm glad I stumbled upon you on social media. So I thought you'd be the perfect guest. We all love martial arts, And
Sure.
so just tell me a little bit about yourself, you're from, like, where you're from and stuff like that. Like you're from Long Beach or LA?
Yeah, I was born in Long Beach, but I wasn't. We kind of moved around a lot. We, as in my mom and my brothers and sister. We lived in the Midwest for a little while, up until middle school, and then for high school, I moved back to Long Beach, and that's when I started actually living in Long Beach. And then it wasn't until I guess I can go right into when I first started martial arts,
Right.
which was I think I was 20 years old. I first walked into a boxing gym, and that's kind of where I first started. DG Boxing Long Beach, shout out. And from there, I was just doing really well. At first I just started as a hobby, and I was doing really well with it. And then a friend of mine told me I could start training jiu-jitsu for free at this at Cal State Long Beach. There was a jiu-jitsu club, so I started going over there and started just training jiu-jitsu. And it was around this time women's MMA was becoming huge with Ronda Rousey and UFC. And so, couple years of jiu-jitsu and tournaments and doing really well. I started seeing MMA as something, as a possibility for me. So, I eventually just started supplementing my training, my boxing and jiu-jitsu with other things, Muay Thai, kickboxing. I even went to my kickboxing gym in Long Beach for a little while. Wrestling, and then eventually I made my MMA debut in 2016, I believe, and so a couple more years later, I get signed with One Championship, and that's where we are now.
Oh wow! Congratulations with all that. That's amazing. What age were you when you started that boxing club?
I was 20.
You're 20? Well, you was
Yeah,
20.
yeah.
Oh wow! So you didn't really like. Did you have any interest in martial arts, like, growing up? Did you watch like kung fu movies, anything like that? Were you into that stuff, or you just kind of like?
Oh yeah,
in your later years.
I was totally into it when I was a kid. I was a huge tomboy, and my brother and I were like best friends basically, and we'd always, I always mentioned we always played video games like Street Fighter and Tekken, and whenever we hang out, we would try to emulate the moves or watch Bruce Lee movies or any kung fu movies and just play fight, trying to emulate the moves as best we could. So we're
That's
huge
funny.
into it. I
used to spar my sisters too. Like, like growing up, we watched Bruce Lee movies, and like he was like my idol. So kind of similar story. Like my sister was kind of like a tomboy, so we like play fight, spar. So it's
cool.
really, I just had a little flashback. I'm sorry when you were just describing that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my uncle, one of my uncles, he's like the same age as us, so we'd play fight with him, and one time he busted my nose pretty good on accident. So Good
Wow.
times.
So, so what was it like your experiences growing up in Long Beach? Did you grew up there, or you said you moved somewhere and then came back?
So yeah, I kind of grew. I didn't have one place where I grew up. Like we really moved a lot.
Mm,
Since I was really little, we lived in Long Beach a little bit. Lived in Pomona here and there, like different parts of Pomona. There's another big Khmer community there.
hmm
We moved different cities in the state of Wyoming. We lived in Idaho a little while. Just my mom's boyfriend at the time was just looking for a job, and basically we're just kind of following wherever he needed to go to make money. And yeah, so that was kind of normal for my brother and I to be bouncing around school to school. And then I just learned nowadays that that's not a normal thing. Usually kids like to stay in one place and connect with their friends and stuff. But yeah, that was actually a cool experience for us to, see different places and stuff. But well, oh yeah. So and then it wasn't until high school that I actually lived in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you have any
Wow.
do you have any experience in Have you ever been to Long Beach?
Oh yeah, I've been there probably 3 times. It's like so far I've interviewed quite a few people from Long Beach, but
Oh, cool.
it's actually one of my favorite places to visit. Like the first time I went to Long Beach was I believe Khmer New Year
Mm.
2013. It was like my first like kind of a big out of state crowd that I performed in front of. So it was at
Oh,
Eldorado Park,
yeah, of
and it was real
course.
fun, man. So I really love Long Beach. I like the people there, the food, the Khmer food
Mm-hmm.
especially, and it's good vibes, good weather. Like it feels like it's perfect weather year round.
Okay. Where are you again?
I'm
Where?
um I'm currently in Brooklyn, New York. I've been here
Oh,
for
wow.
10 years now exactly,
Oh,
and my family is in Seattle. So I came
okay.
here like
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so Seattle's home, but New York's now. It's like I think I've became a New Yorker now. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
so I've been here a good 10 years. So I love it here.
Yeah.
So but definitely miss Seattle. Have you been to Seattle?
Mm-mm.
It's a cool little state to visit for
Okay.
sure. Should check it out one day.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So like when you started MMA, did you have like a particular style that you were, or you went straight into MMA, just mixed martial arts? Did you practice stand up? Any like kick? You said kickboxing. You mentioned kickboxing and jujitsu, but was there like a style of martial art that you were like
Yeah, so
favored or like like preferred?
yeah, because my background, I was, the very first thing I started with it was boxing, just Western style boxing. And I remember as a kid, I never thought that would be anything I would ever, because I always loved like, Bruce Lee and stuff with kicks.
Hmm
And I always thought boxing was so boring. All they're doing is punching, but obviously there's a lot more to it. But anyway, so, yeah, I always had, especially initially, I always favored more of a boxing style. One of my greatest influence and still is Mike Tyson. And um, but eventually, as I started cross training and just trying to implement more things into my MMA game, now I've started, like lately I've been looking more into, because my boyfriend's daughter, she takes taekwondo classes, well, before quarantine anyway. Well, she still does, I guess, on Zoom. But like I like to watch her, and I'd be like, oh, that combination or that move was really cool, and I'll try to implement it. Because a lot of MMA, the style typically is like, you have it's usually like a Muay Thai style of stand up. It's really rare to see people like uh with the karate styles or the taekwondo styles.
This is flashy.
Yeah, and it's just kind of weird. And
Hmm
I like throwing kind of a little bit of weirdness into my game, because it's kind of it's a little bit harder to predict. So yeah.
Taekwondo. I did that taekwondo when I was between I think 12 to 17, and
Hmm.
so it's like it's a fun sport. It's
Yeah.
it's what was available in the town I grew up in,
Mm-mm.
and I had a good time. So it was a kicking sport. I was really into those fancy kicks, those hook kicks and spin kicks and jump kicks. But you see a couple people do it in MMA successfully, but it's like, it's cool for to set up for that knockout blow. If you can
Sure.
pull it off, and you could also get caught lacking and just
Of course.
like if you do a spin kick and boom, they hit you with the elbow. You don't want to get too fancy sometimes. So that's
Yeah,
what's crazy about MMA. You could
that's the tricky thing about the more traditional styles is
yeah.
like Taekwondo, that they're really fast. They have good footwork and fast feet, but they don't really harp on you too much about having your hands up. Their hands are really at the hips.
I noticed that. Yeah,
That
that
allows
drives
you
me
to
crazy.
be more mobile. That allows
Right.
you to be fast and mobile, but your defense is a little bit compromised that way.
Yeah, I
So
just don't like opening your hands, like letting your chest open. Like when I was doing Taekwondo, I always kept it up here, but
yeah,
my feet
yeah.
was crazy though. I had my feet. I just but with Taekwondo now, I feel like some more like it's really. I don't know. It's really sloppy to me. Like just like you said, like just leaving your hand down, and just that's kind of weird to me.
Right.
But yeah. I was just watching one of your fights. You did like the Superman punch. That's like one of my favorite punches. Like you just went in there, like yeah, girl. That was like wow. That's like that's like was that your first or second fight?
That was my first fight with one championship, but my third fight total.
One championship. That's like that's a big deal. So that's your first fight with one. So before that, what were you fighting under? Like just like school?
Just smaller, tiny organizations. Yeah, just to kind of get my feet wet, and then I just had a couple fights prior, and then I was lucky enough to to make it to one as soon as I did. So I have my last fight with one was this past December, just a little while ago now. And with COVID now, it's complicating things, but still training when I can with just my coach these days, and studying from home. Like we've actually learned a lot during this quarantine. Like at first, when they told us to shut down, like it's only going to be 2 weeks. I was like, okay, I have 2 weeks to just let my body rest, because I was just training full time like crazy. And but then after the first month rolls by, 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, even just the first couple months, we had to figure out a way for me to continue with my training. I can't just like be at home, and I still do my cardio or whatever and other drills, but my coach has been super awesome. We'd meet once a week, first just filming techniques for the students at his academy, and then we would do a little work for me, and then we'd only meet like once or twice a week, so he would always send me home with some kind of homework. So yeah, I was always continuing my training, I guess, but from home. So with quarantine being in place, martial arts instructionals has been huge, because everyone's at home. So that's been a huge thing for me. And actually, I feel like I've been progressing like crazy, even more than when I was training 5 hours a day at the gym.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You're doing
just
a lot of videos, or just like a lot of film review, or just like FaceTime calls with your instructor?
Well, so he sends me like instructionals to watch. Like a big one I've been studying is do you know John Danaher?
I don't. I have to check it out.
John Danaher, he's just a big jiu-jitsu guy. He has a lot of athletes that are just really well known right now, and so I'm studying a lot of his stuff. And basically, my coach tells me what to study. Maybe I'll try some of the moves on whoever is available at home, or I'll just take notes. And then next time we meet, we work on those things. And basically, I'm always studying, having questions. It's just a different approach to training, because I always got away with my athleticism. So I'd go to classes, and people tell me how to do the moves, and I'll do it without completely understanding what I'm doing. And because of quarantine, now I'm finally having a different appreciation for martial arts, and a deeper understanding of why I do things, instead of just being a freaking brute savage smashing things. Now there's a reason behind why I do things.
Savage.
So, yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned Savage. I've noticed you have a nickname, Savage Buddha, or how'd you get that nickname?
Yeah. Well, it's just because I guess it's my personality. I guess at home especially before. I'm a lot better now as far as talking to people. Not that much. Like right now, I'm sweaty just from talking to you.
Oh, I don't know. You're good. Like I'm the one I'm a nervous wreck most of the times, but yeah, but I'm just glad that I'm getting to talk to you now. So
Yeah,
and
like I
I'm
said,
like stuff like this. I'm really interested in martial arts. Like I told you before, like I was kind of like an obsession. It's like, for me, it's like I always think of like what would happen if I stayed in Taekwondo and just went that route. Just like because it's like it was cool. It's like
yeah, I remember seeing
those
your
what
video,
ifs.
seeing one of your Instagram videos when you did one of those. I don't know what it's called, like a crescent kick in the air or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that. And I was
yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
my god, that's so sick.
yeah. The Taekwondo terms. I think it's like a 540 crescent kick.
Yeah, I want to learn at least a little bit of the spinning, jumping stuff. At least
Yeah,
one
like you
thing.
can pull it off in a fight. It's definitely it definitely works. But
Yeah,
but like
there's
real
this.
life, I think MMA is really really tough, and it's like the closest thing to get into like a real fight. Like.
Sure.
'Cause I think if someone gets me in a grappling or ground and pound, I'm dead. Like because I'm a stand up kicker. So it's like
Yeah.
I salute. I have much respect for the MMA fighters because like even boxing alone, just standing up and boxing, it looks easy on TV, but it's like one of the most
Nah.
tiringest things in the world. And 2 minutes is a long time. It's like seems like an eternity. So I have so much respect for fighters and just athletes in general. So how do you like stay like conditioned and like what's your strength and conditioning like can you share some of that?
Yeah. Well, before COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID. Yeah.
Okay, so I was working with my nutritionist was also helping me with my strength and conditioning. So I would supplement my training, like my martial arts training with basically weight training and a little bit of running and basically an hour or two at the gym in the mornings. Yeah, I don't know. He has like specific lifting workouts for me to do while I'm at the gym, and specific running. And another coach of mine had this awesome thing that he would have me do on the treadmill that I feel like just did the best thing forever for my cardio, which is he has just a certain amount of time for me to run at a certain speed, and then just picks it up and yeah, so between running and weight training for my conditioning, other than that, most of my conditioning comes from just like martial arts training and sparring. And but lately I've been trying to just keep up maintaining with like burpees. Burpees is like because I don't really run outside, especially I don't know what's like the COVID going on and stuff. I prefer to just stay in the house and do a shit ton of burpees or shadow box and that kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you what's your diet? Do you still eat? Are you on a strict diet, or do you eat like what's your favorite Khmer food? What do you eat?
So when I'm like, of course, when I'm in camp, I have to cut out a lot of carb, just clean it up and eat it's a lot of micronutrients, so a lot of leafy greens and sweet potatoes. And my nutrition was awesome, so I was eating like a shit ton of protein and some rice. Can you cuss on?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feel free.
Okay. But lately, these past few weeks, I was staying at my mom's, and because we moved during when COVID started, when quarantine started, we moved during that time, and where I live now, there's no Khmer markets or Khmer restaurants or anything nearby. So when I went to go stay with my mom for a few weeks, I was just like eating a bunch of like she made like the chluy, and my aunt's house she had what's it called? It's really stinky. The stinkier the better. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She made some kind of like stir-fried chicken gizzard, which was amazing.
Sounds good.
Yeah, my favorite snack is like some jake. Did I say that weird?
Yeah, some jake. Yeah,
some jake.
I won't even know how to describe it in English. It's like this wrapped in banana leaves, like a rice thingy with It's like a rice. I think dessert. Would you say it's a dessert?
Yeah, or snack. It
Yeah,
reminds
a
me of
snack.
like
Yeah,
it reminds me of like the
tamale.
Mexican, yeah, tamale. It's
Tamale.
like a Khmer tamale, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And has a banana in it. It's delicious.
Oh, I love the banana one.
Yeah,
Yeah. But you can also put pork for a more
pork. Yeah,
savory.
yeah. Cool. So, what's your like? I like to ask my Khmer guests. Like, what's your like? If you had to choose one, what's your favorite Khmer dish?
Uh, um,
I know it's tough. It's like it's just so many. You
this is
can name
torture.
a few. You can name a few.
Okay. I love salamatu. Is it Yuan? The one with the seafood? Salamatu Yuan?
Yeah, that's you. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's delicious.
Um, there's that glass noodle, like stir-fried glass noodle. I don't know what it's called though. Like
I can't think of it.
chamisua?
Yeah,
Chamisua?
chamasua. Yeah, that's
Oh,
exactly what it is.
that one is my
You got it.
favorite. And what else? I don't know. I just like eating like grilled fish with takjuro and bai and rice,
Mhm.
like something simple like that too. So those are probably mine. How about
Sounds
you?
good. I like salamachu krung. I like boko, like like the
Mm.
intestines with bahak,
Oh yes.
and like steak intestines, tripe with bahak. That's what my
Mhm.
dad used to make.
Damn.
So
Yeah.
I eat whatever my dad and my mom ate. So
Mhm.
I liked all the internal, the innards,
Mhm.
tlaum, all that good stuff.
Do you have that
The
stuff
palo.
where you're at now in New York?
New York, you'd have to like go to the Asian market and just cook it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been
Mm-hmm.
like, in the quarantine, like, got me on YouTube looking for bahak recipes, how to make playa.
Nice.
So I've learned a little bit.
Oh, cool.
So how you been holding up in this pandemic? Like, how's that affected your like day-to-day routine?
Um, for me, I mean, I'm kind of I'm introvert and a hermit anyway. So, um, I'm just, I just have more time at home and, I was spending more time with family and, have more time just studying my craft, basically, just more time. Before I was like driving all the time between having to teach at the academy and the academy's in LA, and I'm it's a lot of time on the road, and now it's kind of nice not to have to be driving everywhere. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's actually been pretty. I'm fortunate to say that it's been pretty, laid back. I know it's a lot of craziness around going in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm lucky to be it's pretty mellow over here. Yeah, I feel like I've just improved so much with my fighting, and I'm kind of like bummed about COVID because I'm so excited. I've learned all these things, but I can't test it out on anybody. Just my coach beat me up all the time.
Right.
But yeah, it's been. I mean, it would be nice I'm looking forward to things opening up again. But
Yeah,
you
same
know,
here.
yeah.
So you're in LA right now, right? Or like Cali. So it's like
Yeah.
things are. I mean, you're still social distancing, obviously. But I see some of my friends out there at the beach and stuff. I'm like, dang, I'm worried for them. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't wear masks. Or like it's like so it's like the beach is like
Yeah.
you never know, man. That's COVID city over there.
Yeah.
So
I went with the beach once a couple of weeks ago with my brother because I hadn't seen him since before quarantine, and he just had a baby, so my baby nephew's little, and I'm like, he's growing up so much, and so it was an opportunity to see him, and yeah, the beach. I mean, my brother is really awesome about making our perimeter and making sure no one comes around, but yeah, it was pretty crowded, and there was a lot of people with no masks, and we had our masks, but it's still risky.
right. I was actually at the beach the other day too. So, but it's like we're just slowly starting to. I'm in New York. It was an epicenter in the beginning, but I feel like it's good to go out once in a while, and really just like just gradually, going out in public. But You mentioned your brother. How many siblings you have?
So I have one brother. He's the one that I played with all the time because we're so close in age. He's a year and a half younger than me. We're full blood, and then I have two more. I have one more brother. He has a different dad and another sister, and they have the same dad. Both. Yeah, I'm the oldest of four.
That's
So,
cool.
mhm.
Wow, awesome. And is your family like supportive of your fighting? They all
Totally. Yeah. I mean, my mom, being a mom, she gets nervous and stuff, but
right.
she does the best she can she supports, and she's really proud of everything. Yeah, the ultimate goal is to one day try to get a fight out. Like, it would be so cool to be able to fight in Cambodia. I've never been. I don't know if you have, but
I haven't. That's like on my bucket list for the last few years
yeah.
now. I definitely want. Now that this COVID stuff is, it's like I wanted to go like next year, so it might have to be like 2 years from now or something.
Yeah.
But can't wait. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be eye opening. I
Yeah.
also have so much family I've never met there, like
Oh, you
uncles and
do? Oh,
aunts, and I've never even met my grandma, but like
oh wow.
both of them they passed away, so it was like it's kind of
Oh,
sad,
wow.
like
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mom's mom I've never got to meet, my dad's parents I've never got to meet, so
Well, they're all in Cambodia, huh? Is it just
yeah.
you and your parents in the States?
No, me, my parents, and two older brothers and three older sisters,
Oh,
but like
wow.
a few of them are a lot of them were like left. They stayed behind. They
Mm-hmm.
chose to. They wanted to
Mm.
stay in Cambodia.
Yeah. Do your parents visit?
Yeah, they've been back many times.
Okay. And you speak Khmer?
I speak like broken Khmer English. I call it.
Khmer English? Okay.
I speak like just the very basic, the bare minimum. I mix it with English, but I
Uh,
used to be fluent when I was a kid, but
sure.
as you get older, you just become more
Mm,
Americanized. Like your brothers, your
mm,
sisters all speak English, so it just kind
yeah.
of click beside Khmer. How your parents used to warn me, and like, damn it, they're right. Mama always right. So
Yeah, yeah.
so
Oh, that's cool that your parents
yeah,
tried to encourage it. Usually, I don't.
yeah.
Usually, Khmer families don't really. They're like English. You're
Oh
American.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My parents are old school, so
Okay, that's
they
cool.
still speak full Khmer to me. I can understand it pretty
Okay.
fully.
Hmm.
How about you? How's your Khmer?
So yeah, I was like you when I was a kid. I was fluent, but then we just didn't speak it, so I lost it.
Hmm.
But then this year, I started through a friend of mine that I met when I was in Malaysia. He he was there supporting another Khmer fighter, and he put me in touch with my Khmer teacher. So I've been studying Khmer since February,
Hmm.
and so I'm pretty good. I'm pretty excited because I'm pretty good because I went from knowing absolutely nothing to when we have these classes now, I'm speaking Khmer for almost a full hour. So, I mean,
Awesome.
I'm not a pro or anything, but I'm really proud of, you know, it just feels really good to be speaking and understanding
Progress.
it again. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I just followed like this Khmer teacher on Instagram. She followed me, then I followed her back, and she's like every day she'll say a word and
Mhm.
have a definition. So I'm like, wow, this is good.
Oh,
It's
where's that?
just something to refer to. I could send you the profile after
Yeah,
the meeting.
please.
So
Yeah,
it's kind of like a refresher course. Like, oh wow, that's how you
yeah.
say it. You know,
Oh, I
I
just
think
found
it's
out.
someone from Cambodia too. So it's like
Oh,
it's legit.
perfect. Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, my
it's
teacher lives in Battambang.
hmm,
So
wow.
we had a class last night, and I learned the word for curly hair, which is Janine. Do you
Kanyan,
know Janine
Kanyan.
something? Yeah,
Yeah, I've
Janine.
heard that a lot growing
And,
up.
and
I think my
and I
sister said.
and I realized for all these years, I'm 28 now, that I've been calling my one of my I have an uncle named Uncle Curly. Like, we
Hmm.
just call him Bunyain, but I didn't know that was a nickname.
Oh
And
really?
so I thought that was hilarious. Like, all these years I've been calling him Uncle Curly. Yeah.
So that wasn't even his name.
No, it's not. His name's Rith. But I didn't know.
Rith.
Yeah.
I have a cousin named Rith.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's
That's
pretty
right.
common name in
Yeah.
Khmer. Yeah. So
Yeah.
wow. All right. So back to MMA. So like At what point did you realize that you're good? Like, yo, like, did someone tell you, like, or like, how did you like get into the one? Like, how'd you transition from going to school and then like, yo, did someone like, yo, you should be in the one or
Um,
try out for one?
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So I mean, 2 or 3 years into boxing and jujitsu. At that period, I knew I wasn't doing like any. I was doing like some smokers, but nothing official for boxing and doing
Mm.
well. And then for jujitsu, you can sign up for tournaments, and I was doing really well. And so that was like already an indication that I can do pretty good at this. And then I had a friend who was fighting in this smaller organization, and basically contacts through there. I was able to get a couple fights through them, and then yeah, and my first two fights, they were like, I don't know if you've seen them, but they're pretty. Just I won by knockout in my first one, and then TKO in my second one, and so that kind of gives you a little more recognition. And then yeah, and then there was a period where we were trying to figure out, okay, what's the next step for my career? And we were thinking, obviously, UFC is the obvious option, but then we started hearing more about One Championship. I even tried out to go on to the UFC Contender Series. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, they just recruit like new people, and they live in a house together, and they compete for basically a contract in the UFC. So I got to go to Vegas and meet all these other female fighters at my weight, and that was a really cool experience. But I ended up not going that route. I ended up going, my manager had contacts with people at One Championship, and they liked what I was doing, and that's basically how I got in over there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we would decide going with One because they're huge in Southeast Asia, and I've been wanting to like reconnect with my Khmer roots, and like that, I figured that would be like the perfect platform for me. And sure enough, during my first fight, just the support from the Khmer people, I just wasn't expecting it because I was in Malaysia. That was already cool enough, but then there was like plenty of Khmer people that were wanting to meet me, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And so yeah, just where we're going, what was I saying?
My support in
Yeah, just again, I just had this like new interest in reconnecting with my Khmer roots, because I've been, I grew up very Khmer, even though I lived in America. I was always eating Khmer food, hanging with my grandparents and stuff, and going to temple and celebrating Khmer New Year and doing all these things. And then as I grew older, I kind of steered away from anything traditional Khmer. And then I met my boyfriend, and then I started, traveling to Italy with him, and I was learning about Italian culture, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. There's other cultures other than, American culture that I'm used to. And then that made me realize, like, oh, I'm Khmer, and there's a really interesting culture there. And then I wanted to, reconnect and relearn yeah. And now, like, my ultimate goal is to go to Cambodia and maybe bring my mom with me. She hasn't been since she immigrated with her parents, since the,
wow,
Khmer Rouge. And yeah, so
that'd be cool to go back with your mom.
yeah.
Yeah. So wow.
Yep.
So when you fought in you said Kuala Lumpur?
Mm-hmm.
Was that your second One Championship fight or your first?
Both of them were my first and my second One Championship fights were in Kuala Lumpur.
Oh. And what was it like fighting over there? And you said there was like Khmer supporters in the stands cheering you on, and how'd that
Yeah,
feel?
some people, awesome. Yeah, some people would, there's Khmer people Khmer reporters that would interview me. Especially for my first fight, there was another Khmer fighter, Chan Ratana, So a lot more Khmer media for the first one, and
I feel like I heard his name before.
Yeah, he's like one of the
Yeah.
bigger Khmer names right now in one.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I wasn't sure, especially for my first fight. This was my first time flying out to another country for a fight. Flying
Wow.
out, my first time being in Asia. My first time.
So it was your first time going to Asia. How was that flight like? Where did you
Oh my God.
how long was it? And did you have any like I don't know, did you get airsick, or for that
Um.
length of a flight? I've never been on a long flight, so that's why I'm asking.
Oh, yeah. Basically took all day. You just try to sleep. Um. Yeah. I mean, I don't get sick or anything. I just, I get really thirsty being up there so long. But yeah, it's not. But I was like too excited to really feel
Yeah.
too uncomfortable. I was like, man, I'm going
That's
to
awesome.
Malaysia to fight for one championship. This is so cool. So,
Were you nervous at all when the ref or the announcer called your name? Like, what was going on? Were you excited, or were you nervous, or were you just hyped, ready
so
to
for
fight?
my first one, in Malaysia, I was feeling so good, just so confident, like, and it showed like my performance. Yeah, just everything clicked so well. My second one though, oh, my first time. That was my first loss, and I was just everything felt so wrong. Usually, when I get my hands wrapped in the back, I'm like, oh, this is like a superpower is coming on,
Mm.
and everything feels good. But I noticed something was wrong when I was getting my hands wrapped, and I was like, why do I still feel terrible? And sure enough, like everything leading up to the walkout, and just yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you saw that fight, but I ended up losing by submission, and that she choked me out.
I didn't
And
see that fight, but I saw the other ones. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that fight. And how was it? You said you didn't feel good throughout the whole fight, or did you just after that one hand wrap? Like what type of confidence you had when you're going up against her? What was her name, by the way? It was like
oh, so my first opponent in one.
no, the one that you your first loss,
My first loss was Hayana Bastos. She's from
Boston,
Brazil.
Brazil,
Hmm.
and she submitted. Like,
Yeah, she got me in a guillotine, and I was training all through my camp how to escape that, but I was just like the adrenaline was just going too fast. And when I watched it again, I was like, I could have, I could have done this and this and this to get out of that, but I was just like, my mind was just way too slow for the action in there. I was just panic, just not calm, not able to focus, not able to think, and everything was just racing by. And I was like, the whole time, my mind, while I was in there, I was like, I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? Oh, just panic, just pure panic. And sure enough, I got caught, and I was unable to think my way out. And next thing I knew, I was like waking up to pretty lights. Yeah.
oh, so it was like I have to watch the fight after this. So
Yeah.
so when the MMA rules, the referee they determine whether a fight's over, right? Or do you have to
Yeah.
actually physically tap out, or does
I
your
think-
coach have to throw in the towel? How does that work?
Well, yeah, all of those can happen. If a fighter's getting beat up too bad, the coach can definitely call the fight. If obviously if there's a clear knockout, that's the end of the fight. If a fighter is not responding from too many strikes, the ref can come and call it a TKO. You can win by submission. The fighter can tap, or the fighter can just go unconscious, which is kind of like I kind of did a bit of both. I think, it looked like I think I did tap, but I still went out a little bit. But it wasn't so bad. I mean, I definitely took a little bit of a nap, but when I watched the video, I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't out that long. But yeah.
Wow. So prior to that, you guys were both 3-0, right? So okay, wow.
Yeah, it was a really good lesson for me because I think my ego was like sky high, and of course, when I lost at just totally crushed me. I was ruined for months. I still think about it, but
Yeah.
I was really happy that I got that experience early in my career, and I got out without any serious injuries, and I learned a huge hard lesson without too many horrible. I wasn't injured or anything,
Right.
and very necessary to just good ego check. So.
Right. And are you allowed to like can you request a rematch, or how's that work? Would you do a rematch with her? You think you could take her on now? Like,
Yeah, I think I could do a lot better, especially with the progress I've been making. I mean, props to Hannah. She did awesome in her, did everything right and everything.
Right.
But I really feel like I could have had that fight, even if it went all 3 rounds. It's just my ego was just in the way, and my confidence, which is something I never dealt with. Usually I'm just excited to fight. This time I was that's another huge thing I learned about this fight is, I have to work on my mental game, which is nothing I had to deal with before. That's like huge. It's easy to just train every day and work on your skills. It's not so easy to deal with like the mental aspect. So that's something that I've been really interested in focusing on during this, after that fight. I forgot what the question was. Sorry.
oh, the rematches. Can you guys,
rematch.
Can you guys request a rematch, or how's that working?
Yeah, I guess I could.
Would you want to?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind at all. I would just love to get back in there,
Right.
as soon as possible. It's just tricky right now because my division is actually there's not a lot of people in my division.
It's called
So,
flyweight, right?
Yeah, flyweight.
Which is
so,
what pound, what weight class
so
is that? For the people that may not know.
So for one championship in Asia, they want us hydrated, so we don't cut weight. Whereas in the U.S., fighters typically cut like 10, at least female fighters cut like 10, 15 pounds. So flyweight in the U.S. would be 125, but flyweight in one championship is 135. So yeah, because they do hydration testing and everything just to kind of, protect fighters from, a lot of injuries can come from being over dehydrated, and even people have died from it. So they're just trying to make it safer. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your future fights. I'm rooting for you. You got my full support, and I wish I was paying attention earlier. Cause I think I saw you somewhere on my newsfeed. Like, Khmer MMA fighter. So like,
Oh, cool.
dang. So I was like, when you see anything Khmer, you we want to root for him.
For sure.
Totally. So that's what. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your story and taking your time to speak to me about.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully one day I want to ask you tips on like spinning 540 taekwondo fancy kicks.
Oh yeah. Shoot, I'm old now. I'm like, but definitely it's just crazy. I still couldn't do it at this age, but without twisting my ankle. I'm like, wow, I'm brave. And that was only like last year too, or like a couple years ago when I was doing that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so you're not much of a kicker. You're a straight up boxer and
I kick
ground
more
and pound.
now. I kick more now. More. I feel more natural as a boxer, but I had to make a lot of stylistic changes when I went to MMA because I was boxing. I like to be nice and tall and keeping people at the end of my jabs. And then when I went to this MMA gym, it's huge for female fighters. It's San Diego Combat Academy in San Diego. I have a lot of my homegirls over there training. When they caught on that, like, I just like to box and I was like standing really tall. But the problem with MMA is there's takedowns. So all they had to do was I would jab or punch, and they would just duck under my punch and then tackle me to the ground. And I was like, damn it. So, yeah.
MMA is a whole different animal. It's crazy.
It's a different game. It's a different game. Yeah. You can get kicked in the head. You can get taken down.
Knees and elbows too, right? Knees and elbows are allowed? Do you like to knee and clinch and elbow? I feel like that's like the most vicious part of your body, like the knees and elbows. That's why I love watching like kickboxing and Muay Thai and stuff like that. And I see like a lot of your victories were in like first round, or like they were really quick. So you like you don't play around. You just want to get there and end the fight, which is I think that's a dope strategy too.
Yeah.
Because like like MMA and just like grappling, and it's kind of like survival. Like it's like kill or be killed. And and like I said, like when I was in Taekwondo sparring, 2 minutes was exhausting. It was a long time, continuous sparring. So like, I can't imagine being in an octagon where there's more less strict rules. Like you get like knees and elbows and arm bars, and I would hate to. I'd probably, if someone get me on the ground, I'm tapping out right away. Not gonna lie. Yeah, so it's like I have a lot of respect for MMA fighters, and like I think it's amazing what you're doing, and hopefully people who are watching this probably or listening, they will get inspired, and you may inspire the young women that want to do MMA. I think martial arts in general is good to have that skill, the life skill. You can apply it in life. Self-defense, stuff like that, especially for women, they're going to need it in this crazy world,
I'm huge for women training martial arts. Like I like to teach women self-defense seminars every now and then. So yeah, anytime women can train,
awesome.
Super for it. Yeah.
So you're also an instructor. How long you been teaching MMA or martial arts? Well, I guess I've been teaching more when my coach opened up his academy last year. I teach the Muay Thai class. And then every now and then I'll do like, a self-defense clinic at my home gym and at DG Boxing in Long Beach. Every now and then I'll go to another coach's gym to teach jiu-jitsu. So, it's just another good way for me to kind of give back, especially, getting more women, because it's hard for women to walk into like a jiu-jitsu gym, especially, and want it to, because it's really close contact, so if a woman's teaching it, they're more likely to try it. So, just try to help out that way. And also it helps me in a lot, if I'm able to understand a technique well enough to teach it, then I really have an understanding of, the techniques. And so it's just a deeper way to understand these things and give back at the same time. Cool. How about let's make a deal? I'll teach you the 540 kick if you teach me some jiu-jitsu or some
deal.
Basic MMA. So if someone tries to take me down, I know how to counter it. Take him. You know what I mean? Gotta be ready. You gotta stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Exactly. Yep. All right.
Cool. Also, I read that you are an artist. So I want to mention that too. You draw as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ever since I was a kid, that's always been my relaxing thing. I went to school for digital media for a couple of years, and kind of learned Photoshop, drawing on the Wacom tablet on my own. Thank you to YouTube. And so every now and then I'll do illustrations for people or graphic designs, or I help my boyfriend with his podcast. I edit his podcast and record and do all the production there, and the artwork, and just trying to stay busy in any way I can and creative, and
Cool. Awesome. So what's in your plans for one? Are you preparing for next year for fights, or are you looking to compete some more?
Yeah, I would like to. I don't have anything in the books at the moment. Right now, I'm just focusing on my own just improvement and training as much as I can during quarantine. And exactly, like you said, it's just staying ready. But yeah, at the moment, especially with flight restrictions, it's kind of a pain in the butt right now to get American fighter. They have some events going on right now, but they're just local. Like they just had one in Thailand, and
we can't even go international right now, huh? Americans not
yeah,
accepting us.
exactly. Yeah, so it's a little difficult. But right now, just yeah. I gained a little weight during quarantine for sure, but I'm doing good at getting it back down. So I'm just right now trying to get my abs a little, and yeah.
It shouldn't be hard for you because you're you're a martial artist. You can get it back.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
shoot, yeah, can't wait. So I'll know about your next fight because we're friends now, and I'm blessed to have you as a friend and a fan now. I'm a fan, and
Sweet.
I can't wait to see you kick some more ass. Rep for our people.
Yeah.
And hopefully, your goal is to win a one championship, right? That's like the ultimate. That's like the Super Bowl of fighting, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Winning is nice, but ultimately, I just would really like, I like this as a platform to inspire women, to inspire especially Khmer women, especially Khmer women in Cambodia have a certain kind of they tend to be more the culture, they tend to just be more soft and soft, serving at working at home, cleaning the house, that kind of thing. I want to show them. That's why I like people. I don't know if you know Tarat Sam.
Little Frog, of course I know.
Little Frog.
Yeah,
she's freaking awesome.
I love her. I actually interviewed her, so.
Oh really? Oh,
it's really yeah. She actually, when she came to New York for her screen, or like just Philly, and she stopped by New York, and I was I was able to like show her around, take her.
Oh,
to
that's so good.
Joe's
She's such
Pizza.
a sweetheart.
She is a sweetheart,
and
yeah, she taught me a little bit of that, a little form in Bocatao, so it was really a good experience, man. She's a sweetheart, and
yeah.
I'm
Sweet but strong.
Yeah.
Which is what I love about her. Which is so yeah, that's what I kind of want to do as this with ONE as my platform, just to inspire Khmer girls to. You can also be this strong, woman at the same time as being nice and sweet. So
yes,
yeah.
Respect. I love it. Cool. So to end this on a good note, I have these pod decks, which is my sponsors. Just like interview questions, just to make it more fun. Is it cool if I ask you a couple questions from these deck of cards?
Cool.
Okay, first question: who are your heroes in real life?
My heroes, besides my dog, I guess. Well, I mean, they're my martial arts inspirations, which is Mike Tyson and lately George St. Pierre. But I think one of my greatest heroes would be my boyfriend. He's just been an all-around good human being, and that's just something that I want to aspire to be every day. Just especially during these hard times, he's still, he's going through a rough period at the moment too. But he's still just, he has every right to kind of like, I mean, not be an asshole, but maybe not be as sweet and friendly as he has been, and he still manages, no matter what's going on in the world and what he's doing, still manages to just spread love and kindness. And that's just something I just find heroic, and we need more of that in the world. So my boyfriend.
Shout out to your boyfriend.
Yeah.
What's left on your bucket list?
Go to Cambodia, fight in Cambodia.
Yeah. Does ONE championship events happen in Cambodia? Has it happened?
I know
before?
they've had events there before. I don't know how many, one or two, but it's just not very many at the moment. So we'll see what happens.
Ooh. What is something you like that most people don't?
I don't. I don't know if I want to say.
Sad.
Well, I talk a lot about my dog's butthole.
Oh, really?
Because it's funny and cute. I don't know how most people would react to that. I just do that at home.
That's funny. Okay, what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I don't know. Okay, the first thing that pops to mind is this quote. Shoot, I don't remember who said this. Probably some ancient monk. I'm probably butchering it, but someone said, eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired, drink when you're thirsty. Basically, just saying, I don't know. Man, I wish I thought of something cooler. I don't know, but something that I don't know. I just really big on kind of going with the flow of what you feel, listening to your body, and just you can live a happier life that way. And if you're happy, it's easier to be nice to the people around you and just spread that kind of vibe to the rest of the world.
I like that. I'm very go with the flow type of guy too. So that's actually a good answer. Okay, one more. Okay.
Sure.
What's your favorite thing you bought this year?
Ooh, what have I bought? I am so cheap. I haven't. What have I? I don't know what I've bought. I didn't buy them, but my boyfriend did. We got some mats so that we can pimp out our garage into a little training studio. So that's something I'm really excited about. So
Wow.
I guess
Awesome.
our training mats. Yeah.
Yo, that's the coolest thing you can do is have a little dojo at your own home. You wake
I
up
know.
and do your thing.
I'm so excited. Yeah, we've been just training on our carpet, but he gets like mad rug burn. So, so it'll be nice to train on some actual mats.
Awesome. So he trains with you too. So he's is he in martial arts, or are you just your crash dummy? Let me throw you across the room real quick.
A little bit of both. No, he's the one that got me into martial arts. He's been training jiu-jitsu for a while and other traditional martial arts. Yeah, he's a black belt in Kung Fu Sun Tzu. I don't know if you've heard that, but
Sun Tzu. How do you spell it?
SANSOO.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard
it's
of
really
that
rude.
one.
Just think of lots of groin kicks and eye gouges and fighting, all that stuff.
I like that. I don't. Yeah. When you're fighting, you don't play fair. I'm gonna gouge your eye. I'm gouging your eye.
That's what he does.
I love it. Yeah. We couples that train together stay together. That's
sure.
what's up. Salute to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sovahnnary. I think we have a good episode. It's gonna definitely inspire women. It's a cool, awesome conversation I had, and I got to know you more on a personal level, and I'm looking forward to what the future brings for you.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad. It was really fun chat. Thank you for having me on. It's really nice meeting you too.
Awesome. Cool. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.
This is Savannahry, and you're listening to Chluy Talk.